Truist shares are trading flat as we speak. This comes on the back of strong fourth quarter earnings. The regional bank showed a growth in profit and revenue from the same period last year. Joining us now is their CEO, Kelly King. Kelly, thanks so much for joining us. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Wilfred. Hope you're having a good day.
Very good so far, thank you, and only getting better. Kelly, I wanted to start with loan loss provisions, which of course has been a big focus of earnings throughout all of 2020 and this quarter as well for you and your peers. You had a loan loss provision of 177 million for the quarter. It fell significantly from the prior quarter, though not to zero, not into benefit territory. Do you feel like the worst is behind you as it relates to the economic cycle tied to the pandemic?
Well, Wilfred, as you know, all of the dynamics are really, really volatile right now, and it's hard to know for sure. But yes, we think that the clarity we see going forward is much better than just 60, 90 days ago. It certainly appears that the worst case expectancy with regard to loan loss problems is much, much down. So as we look forward, we feel much, much better about the quality of loans. They're performing extraordinarily well, and we really think the worst could easily be behind us.
What about the volume of loans, excluding PPP, down nearly 10% for you? Has that bottomed, that trend?
Yeah, so what's going on there, Wilfred? Recall that in the spring, when we had the panic around liquidity, most banks, and including ours, that have large corporate relationships, we had a huge drawdown on all the lines. I mean, it like doubled overnight. And so that spiked up the loans early in the year. Now, of course, they're paying it all back down because they're flush with liquidity, and the combination of the pay down on the PPPs and mortgage outstandings are down some. So all of that is just kind of abnormal pay downs. It's not indicative of normal type of loan growth.
Have you actually started issuing new PPP loans as part of this latest stimulus round, Kelly? And if so, just gauge for us how small business is doing relative to where we were a few months ago during the previous rounds.
Yeah, Sarah, we started actually, I think today. We've had a few days to work on it. This is different, so we had to constitute all of the process and procedures and so forth. But it's all set. We're all ready. We're taking applications. We've basically gone back to all of the ones who got loans in the beginning to see if they want to get a second round, because in this, it can be a new application or it could be an application for a second round. So that's all underway. It's hard to know based on the early responses, but, for example, we did about $13 billion, one of the top lenders in the country, in the first round. We think it may be more like 3 or 4 billion this round. Now, in terms of what's happening with small businesses, this is a really bifurcated economy. The mid-sized and larger businesses are doing pretty well, not great, but really relative to conditions very well. It's the small and micro businesses that are really struggling. So what we hope is that most of the very smallest businesses are the ones that will come in for this round of PPP, because they really are the ones that need it the most.
Kelly, when you executed your merger to form Truist, everyone talked about it unleashing a wave of M&A across U.S. banking. We haven't quite seen that wave, but last year did see a step up in activity in that space. Do you think more will come this year, and would Truist be interested in any further small bolt-ons?
So, Wilfred, I do, and I've said repeatedly, I think there will be a continued consolidation in the industry. And the reason is the same reason that BB&T and SunTrust did ours to form Truist. There's been a dramatic change in the last 10 years in terms of scale of business required to be a thriver in our industry, and frankly, most retail industries, because of digitalization, et cetera. And so you're beginning to see that happen. I think you'll see it more so as we go forward. And I think it'll be, over time, continued consolidation. And of course, it's been going on for a long time. I remember not too long ago, we had about 20,000 banks in the country. We're down to about 5,000. So it's not a new phenomenon, but it will continue, maybe at an accelerated pace. We have our plate full right now, Wilfred, with regard to, we're doing this pretty big deal, two $225 billion companies. So we would not be interested in the short term with regard to large bank acquisitions. but we're very interested in bolt-ons in insurance, for example, which is a booming great business for us. We're interested in some small technology types of companies. So we're interested in acquisition, but nothing big right now.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.